Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil. We created an exoskeleton.
Tesla.
What happens
the company's
when the most
revenues and
anticipated electric
profits
vehicle
have
of the
plunged
century
during the first
becomes
3
one of
months
the
of the
biggest
year as the
automotive
automaker
disappointments?
faces
This is
continued
not
backlash
fiction.
over
It's
its
happening
boss,
now.
Elon Musk.
In this video, we will look at two explosive stories that are undermining belief in innovation and institutions. Tesla's Cybertruck, once heralded as a game changer, is now facing production halts, widespread recalls, and a growing chorus of dissatisfied customers. What went wrong with a design that was supposed to transform the future of transportation? Despite claims of its ultra-hard, cold-rolled stainless steel body, famously resistant even to a 9mm bullet shot at the door, Tesla has issued a large recall affecting nearly 700,000 vehicles, including the Model 3, Model Y, and most significantly, the Cybertruck. The immediate problem lies in the vehicle's tire pressure monitoring system, but the deeper issue is the Cybertruck's increasingly troubled deployment. Initially unveiled in 2019, the Cybertruck was envisioned as a dramatic leap forward in the electric vehicle market, with a sharp, jagged, stainless steel exterior that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie rather than a suburban driveway. Lacking paint, curves, or familiar automotive design cues, Tesla described it as the armored car of the future, and many people believed them. The promises were grand: a powerful, long-lasting, technologically advanced, and surprisingly affordable vehicle that would disrupt the pickup truck market, dominate EV discussions, and propel Tesla even further ahead of traditional automakers. Thousands of people rushed to place deposits, and the hype was real. However, while public demand was high, actually building the Cybertruck proved to be a much greater challenge than Tesla had anticipated. Much of the difficulties stemmed from the truck's unique features, particularly its ultra-hard 30X cold-rolled stainless steel body, which is extremely durable and corrosion-resistant, but notoriously difficult to work with. Traditional stamping technologies used in automotive manufacturing were not suited for such thick, hard material, forcing Tesla to overhaul large parts of its production process. Robots had to be reprogrammed, equipment redesigned, and even basic assembly procedures rethought. What seemed like an exciting engineering challenge soon led to unforeseen delays and rising costs. According to sources familiar with Tesla's manufacturing operations, the company's facilities were not initially designed to handle the Cybertruck's demanding materials. Welding issues, panel misalignments, and other difficulties began to pile up. While Tesla has a reputation for pushing boundaries and taking risks, in this case, those risks began to show in the finished product. Fans and early adopters celebrated when the first Cybertrucks rolled off the assembly line in late 2023, with social media posts and Tesla advertising marking the milestone. But the excitement quickly faded as reports surfaced from new owners pointing out serious issues: body panels that didn't align properly, noticeable gaps between doors in the main cabin, loose or misaligned trim, and more. These were not just cosmetic flaws. They affected how the vehicle handled wind, water, and daily use. Inside the truck, things were not much better, as Tesla had removed nearly all physical controls, creating additional challenges for drivers. The Cybertruck's interior design left only a single large touchscreen to handle everything from the mirrors to the air vents and the steering column. While this matched Tesla's austere design language, it raised usability challenges. Even adjusting basic settings like the side mirrors required navigating through computerized menus, which many drivers found uncomfortable, especially while driving. Drivers also remarked that the truck felt incomplete. Where the ceiling in some units failed during rain, cabin noise was louder than expected, and the interior materials, intended to feel modern and upscale, often came across as cold and industrial. What was meant to feel futuristic, instead, felt more like a prototype. Beyond cosmetic and comfort issues, the Cybertruck began to show more serious practical problems. One of the most talked about issues was a windshield wiper. Because of the truck's large, flat windshield, Tesla had to design an oversized wiper, but early tests showed it didn't effectively clean the entire surface. Left streaks, couldn't reach corners, and struggled in heavy rain. A critical flaw for a vehicle designed for all terrains and climates. Showed abnormal entry system, now standard on Teslas, as the future transportation, also caused problems. The Cybertruck began to feel more like a beta test than a other technical components. Perhaps most ironic, such as a camera, was its biggest selling point: durability. While the stainless steel shell was highly resistant to dents and scratches, it required significant care, attracting fingerprints and watermarks that demanded constant cleaning. Worse, if scratched or damaged, repairs were laborious and costly. Most body shops couldn't handle material, forcing owners to rely on Tesla's already overburdened service centers, resulting in long wait times and high costs. By early 2024, Elon Musk's earlier warning that production would be extraordinarily tough was proving true. Tesla had missed production goals, fallen behind schedule, and the units that reached customers were causing more frustration than excitement. As criticisms mounted, industry experts, influencers, and car journalists began speaking out, all highlighting the same issues: inconsistent build quality, questionable design choices, and a lack of refinement. Not what buyers expected from a vehicle costing over $80,000 with add-ons. By early 2025, the hype around the Cybertruck had nearly evaporated. Reports of build quality problems flooded in, with owners sharing photos and videos across social media, online forums, and review sites, showing misaligned panels, rattling trims, and rushed-looking dashboards. The once celebrated stainless steel body had become a major headache, with owners facing constant cosmetic upkeep. Fingerprints, smudges, and water stains were surprisingly hard to avoid, and if the body was scratched or dented, uncommon but possible, repairs were difficult, expensive, and slow, as only Tesla service centers could handle them. Inside the truck, Tesla's plan to control nearly all functions through the single large touchscreen, though futuristic at first, had become a major source of frustration for many drivers. Everyday frustrations quickly mounted for Cybertruck owners. Even something as simple as adjusting the air vents or side mirrors required navigating through multiple steps in digital menus. For consumers accustomed to physical buttons and knobs, this approach felt unnecessarily complicated, and safety experts raised concerns about the distraction caused by having to look away from the road just to change basic settings. Beyond usability, hardware difficulties soon emerged that couldn't be dismissed as mere opinion or user error. The massive front windshield, with its unique size and angle, forced Tesla to design a specialized wiper system. But in practice, it proved ineffective, leaving large streaks, missing critical areas, and struggling with moderate to heavy rain. This was a problem that no software update could fix, as it exposed a fundamental flaw in the truck's physical design. Other issues surfaced as well. Some owners reported defective doors that wouldn't open properly, malfunctioning camera systems essential for Tesla's driver assist features, and keyless entry systems that occasionally failed to recognize the driver's phone or card, locking them out of the vehicle without warning. While Tesla had developed a reputation for addressing many issues through a major announcement in March 2025, these fixes could only go so around 4,000 when the core problems were physical, due to a stuck accelerator, broken pedal, loose trim, risked becoming or jammed, flawed wiper design, raising the danger of unintended acceleration. Tesla tried to downplay the growing serious concern for such a powerful and heavy vehicle. Piling up. U.S. regulatory agencies took notice, forcing Tesla to act swiftly. But the most shocking development came soon after. In March 2025, Tesla announced a full-scale recall of all Cybertrucks delivered to customers. This was not a minor or targeted recall. More than 46,000 units were affected. The issue involved an exterior trim piece around the roof that was coming loose, and in some cases, flying off entirely at highway speeds, endangering other drivers. Videos circulating online showed these parts detaching on the road, creating safety hazards. Tesla traced the problem to the adhesive used to secure the trim. Whether this was a result of cost-cutting, poor quality control, or an untested bonding method, the bottom line was clear. The material simply wasn't strong enough. What was meant to be a sleek design element had turned into a potential driving hazard. And unlike software glitches, this issue couldn't be fixed remotely. Every affected Cybertruck needed to be physically brought into a service center for repairs. Customers were left facing long service appointments, waiting in lines, and dealing with service teams that were still ramping up their ability to handle the new and complex Cybertruck. Tesla's infrastructure was not fully prepared to manage large-scale Cybertruck maintenance, and soon, manufacturing came to a halt. Tesla delayed deliveries of new Cybertrucks and paused work on unfinished vehicles at its Austin, Texas factory. While no formal statement detailed the full cause of production stop, sources within the company suggested the problems ran deeper than just faulty trim. Behind the scenes, Tesla engineers were reportedly struggling with multiple challenges: meeting quality control standards, maintaining a smooth assembly process, and addressing a mounting backlog of issues. Thousands of Cybertrucks sat idle, either unfinished, recalled, or awaiting rework, creating both technological and financial headaches. With each Cybertruck costing a significant amount to build and many priced above $80,000, the total inventory stuck in limbo was estimated to be worth around $200 million, a serious blow for a company known for its lean production and rapid delivery cycles. Shareholders and analysts began questioning the long-term viability of the Cybertruck project, and some wondered if pursuing such an unconventional design had been a strategic error. Meanwhile, competitors like Rivian and Ford watched closely. These companies, while offering more conventional designs, were steadily rolling out electric trucks that delivered reliable performance without attracting the same wave of recalls and negative attention. The Ford F-150 Lightning, for example, made no attempt to reinvent the truck. It simply offered a dependable electric version of a beloved model, a strategy that was increasingly appealing to buyers weary of the Cybertruck's troubles. Initially, Tesla's approach was to keep rolling out fixes and software updates whenever possible, but it became clear that deeper solutions were necessary. Customers who had waited years for their Cybertrucks were now being asked to wait even longer for service appointments and hardware repairs, leading to growing frustration and disappointment. Ultimately, Tesla's biggest challenge was not just mechanical, it was reputational. The company now faced the urgent task of rebuilding trust, both in the Cybertruck and in its broader ability to deliver reliable, future-focused products. Slowing down and addressing these fundamental issues would require a shift in strategy and tone for a company that had long prided itself on speed and disruption. Tesla, a company that had built its reputation on invention, speed, and disruption, was now hard at work behind the scenes to address the Cybertruck's many challenges. Engineers were redesigning the production process with a clearer understanding of the vehicle's unique design constraints, particularly the ultra-hard stainless steel that gave the truck its distinctive look, but also created unexpected manufacturing difficulties. This material was tough to bend, weld, and cut with standard tools, forcing Tesla to upgrade factory equipment, robotic systems, and assembly lines, all of which added complexity and cost, but were necessary to achieve safer and more consistent production. Beyond fixing the adhesive issue that caused a large-scale recall, many of which were still ramping up, also began addressing other flaws and spare parts, such as the oversized windshield wipers that struggled to clean the truck's large. Tesla was also rethinking its messaging. Engineers explored the early Cybertruck campaign, while improvements were made to the software-defined traditional truck expectations, especially to make the in-car controls now more intuitive, reliability, and correction. Unlike Tesla was no longer relying on over-the-air updates. It was working hard. These fixes required physical modifications. Despite the setbacks, meaning customers had to bring their truck fans and reservation holders remained hopeful, believing the truck could fulfill its promise once early problems were resolved. Tesla was counting on this patience, betting that an updated and more stable version would reignite enthusiasm. At the same time, competitors weren't standing still. Ford's F-150 Lightning, with its familiar pickup design, was winning customers thanks to its utility and dependability, while Rivian's R1T drew praise for its sleek design and off-road performance. Chevrolet and GMC were also rolling out new electric models, adding pressure to Tesla's position. These rivals weren't trying to reinvent the truck. They focused on meeting customer expectations with solid, reliable vehicles. As Tesla dealt with recalls and production delays, competitors gained ground and market share. Tesla's once commanding lead in electric vehicle innovation was narrowing as other automakers made rapid advances in battery technology, charging networks, and in-car software. The EV market had matured, and consumers now prioritized durability and refinement alongside innovation, leaving Tesla with a critical question. Could the Cybertruck still carve out a place for itself in this evolving landscape? In this new, more competitive environment, Tesla needed to do more than just repair broken parts. It had to rebuild trust in its ability to deliver high-end vehicles that performed as promised. Elon Musk remained publicly optimistic, expressing confidence that Tesla would resolve the challenges and resume Cybertruck deliveries by late 2025. While the timeline was ambitious, insiders confirmed that Tesla was working hard to implement crucial changes before the deadline, including improved materials, stronger adhesives, alter manufacturing processes, and onboard technology updates. One of Tesla's key strengths has always been its adaptability. Unlike traditional automakers that often take years to improve designs, Tesla has shown it can make rapid adjustments when necessary, a trait that could prove vital on the Cybertruck production line. Financially, however, the situation was precarious. The halted deliveries, high recall costs, and factory adjustments strained resources, and investor confidence was shaken. Analysts were watching closely to see whether Tesla could relaunch the Cybertruck and meet the high expectations that once drove massive pre-orders. Even Tesla's most loyal fans had shifted their expectations. The conversation had moved from whether the Cybertruck was revolutionary to whether it could simply meet basic quality standards, drive smoothly, withstand weather, and maintain interior durability over time. Tesla's challenge was not only to deliver a working vehicle, but also to repair the public narrative. Once a symbol of the company's audacity, the Cybertruck had become a test of Tesla's responsibility. If the company could fix the flaws and improve the truck's dependability, it still had a chance to reshape the market. But the window of opportunity was closing, as each delay allowed competitors to gain ground and win over frustrated Tesla customers. While Tesla's history included recoveries from early struggles with the Model S and Model 3, the Cybertruck represented a higher-stakes challenge. It wasn't just about speed or range, but about creating a whole new product category and brand identity. At the same time, a major scandal was unfolding on a completely different front. What began as a routine investigation into misuse of foreign aid funding erupted into one of the most highly publicized corruption cases in recent memory, centering on USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, handling billions of dollars annually for health, education, infrastructure, and disaster relief abroad. USAID had long played a crucial role in shaping U.S. influence overseas, particularly in regions facing disaster or extreme poverty. However, federal investigators uncovered alarming evidence that tens of billions of dollars had been misused. Funds meant for schools, hospitals, and vulnerable populations were allegedly siphoned into private accounts, overpriced contracts, and projects that delivered little or no benefit. The revelation triggered a sweeping federal response. The FBI launched an intensive investigation. Several senior USAID officials were arrested, and some suspects even attempted to flee the country. Investigators exposed a network of mismanagement, weak oversight, and in some cases outright fraud, with officials and contractors creating complex financial schemes masked as legitimate projects. For example, a water access program in a drought-stricken area reported dozens of completed wells serving thousands, but inspections revealed only a few working wells. With many sites showing no progress at all, millions of dollars were unaccounted for. As news of the scandal spread, public outrage grew. Many Americans, previously unaware of the scale of U.S. foreign aid spending, were angered to learn how much money may have been wasted or stolen. Politicians across the political spectrum demanded more transparency and accountability, insisting that every dollar sent abroad be traceable. In a dramatic response, former President Donald Trump ordered a temporary suspension of USAID activities, imposing a 90-day freeze on new contracts and calling for the rapid arrest of any officials implicated in fraud. This move stirred fierce debate, with some praising it as decisive leadership and others criticizing it as politically motivated overreach. Regardless, the investigation pressed forward as federal agents tracked international money flows and examined years of aid records. Advanced digital tools played a key role in uncovering the corruption, revealing that the issue was not merely bad accounting, but deep-rooted global misappropriation of public funds. The crisis sparked urgent calls to reform, with activists, analysts, and even government insiders advocating for greater transparency. One widely discussed solution was to use blockchain technology to create real-time, tamper-proof records of every aid dollar, making it far harder to divert funds unnoticed and potentially restoring public trust. Meanwhile, the immediate impact on vulnerable communities around the world was devastating. Ongoing projects were frozen, new aid was delayed, and partner organizations were left without clear answers, threatening critical services in regions grappling with violence, disease, and food insecurity. On the ground, people began asking a painful question. Would the ultimate victims of corruption be the very populations aid was meant to help? Meanwhile, The search for those responsible escalated, as some officials suspected of playing key roles in the misappropriation of funds had already fled the United States, triggering international efforts to locate them. Others chose to cooperate with investigators in exchange for lesser penalties, and whistleblower testimonies revealed just how deep the flaws ran and how long the wrongdoing had gone unnoticed. The incident has had far-reaching consequences beyond USAID, placing other government departments that handle international initiatives under heightened scrutiny. Lawmakers are now proposing legislation to require full reporting on all foreign aid spending, as well as independent third-party audits. There is growing concern that without substantial changes, similar scandals may reoccur. Despite the turmoil, some analysts see this as an opportunity, arguing that genuine reform is possible if approached with honesty and consistency. They point to better use of technology, more transparent reporting systems, and expanded involvement of independent watchdog groups as potential game changers. However, meaningful progress will require more than a few arrests or temporary suspensions. It will demand a complete rethinking of how aid is planned, managed, and delivered. The long-term goal is to build a system where every dollar can be tracked, results are clearly measured, and those responsible for failures face real consequences. This level of accountability is crucial not only for financial integrity, but also for the effectiveness of aid programs. As people in crisis zones need more than promises, they need results, and that can only happen if the system delivering assistance is reliable. Public interest in the story remains high as the investigation progresses. News outlets continue to provide updates as more names are identified, additional financial documents are uncovered, and both current and former officials face mounting pressure to explain how this level of abuse was tolerated for so long. As of today, the narrative is far from over. What began as a behind-the-scenes audit has become a major reckoning over how America manages its role in foreign aid. The next chapter will determine whether this results in lasting reform or simply another cycle of media attention and political statements. One thing is certain. The demand for transparency is greater than ever, and the public's expectations are clear. People want to know their money is being spent wisely, whether it's on a futuristic electric truck or to help families across the globe. And if that trust is broken, those in charge will face consequences. If you'd like, I can also help you combine all your sections into a single polished article. Let me know